Welcome to Ghost Stories. I'm Psychic Medium John, and I'm going to tell you real life ghost stories that I've experienced myself. Are you ready for it? So, for those of you who are new to the channel, I'm a Psychic Medium, and I'm going to tell you stories that kind of helped show how I've evolved as a psychic medium. So the first story in this series that I'm going to tell you is there was one night. I was probably about 13 or 14 years old, maybe a little bit younger, and I was sleeping in my room when we lived in Houston, Texas. And all of a sudden I hear my sister just start screaming. Now she's crying, she's explaining to my parents that she sees this older gentleman in her room and he wants to go home. So we all go out into the living room and she keeps on staring at this chair. Now here's the thing, I see him too. I could clearly see him. I could still see him in my mind's eyes. Gentleman, late 50s, early 60s, kind of wearing his pants a little bit high. They're khakis and in a plaid shirt. And so I'm seeing him too, but my parents don't see him, but my sister and I do. So I don't say anything because my parents are like, what, there's nothing there. They're just saying that there's nothing there. And she keeps on explaining that he is telling her he's just trying to find his way home. So she's up crying for a while. I'm seeing the same thing too, but I'm not really saying anything. I'm just listening. And so finally my parents start asking her, okay, well, like, what's his name? What does he want? What does he look like? And again, she says he wants to ride home. So my dad entertains her, and he's like, okay, well, let's take him home so he can stop bothering you and you can go to sleep. So my dad gets in his truck. My sister allows the spirit being into the truck, and then she sits on one side of his truck as she tells my dad exactly where to drive. Now, the spirit is telling my sister where to go, how to get there, and then my dad is just kind of doing this. So they get in front of this house. She gets out, opens the door, lets the spirit out. He says thank you and walks into this house, but he doesn't open the door. So I believe it was the next day or so, my dad spoke to the people at his house, and they had in fact had an elderly gentleman in their family. I believe it was like a grandfather, uncle, something like that, pass away in a different state in a car accident. And it just so happens that that day was his birthday. From that moment on, now we haven't talked about it as a family since, but I believe from that moment on, my parents had their eyes open even more, because we had lived in a haunted house whenever we were a kid, but I was a kid, but this wasn't anything dangerous. It was something that was familiar, and I will tell you that in a part 2. So have you ever experienced anything paranormal, anything that you can't explain? You saw something with your eyes, heard something with your ears? Please comment below, send me the story, and I will feature it on Paranormal Spooky Talk.